Yup. Yo. It's time for some side questing. Some side quests. Some mini games. Oh,
I gotta stick to that racing
oh, what do we got? Okay, we got the bike game, we got the battle brawler, we got Queen's Blood. We got him over there. We've got... Ooh, what is this? Oh, the battle square. Okay. There's the haunted hotel. I've already done all the chocobo stuff. And then this is for the sky wheel. Okay. Let's start it off with... Let's start off with some bike action, go into the Queen's Blood, and then finish with the battle brawler. Okay. So we completed all this. We need a score of 31,000. And I gotta remember how to play. Okay, let's pick our turn. Don't do a spinning slash yet. Oh, we gotta grab those. Okay, I gotta grab the points. Is how many I should have there, or is that a distance? I can't tell if I'm doing good or not. I need 31k. Okay, I totally missed that huge pack. Oh god. Oh, that's the distance till... Oh. Alright, I'm not making this. I can't believe I beat that. Seems like I messed up a lot there. Okay. Wait, so I didn't get the gold saucer points? Is that how that works? Because I got 32,000. Oh, so I won the... Okay, so I won the initial gold saucer points, but I can win more if I do it again. Okay. So it's meant to be like, hey, do this once, you're good. You do it a second time, you get all the goodies. Speaking of goodies...
Hey there, musclehead. Hey there. Got a big pile of points to trade me?
I do. And I've already bought everything.
Make sure to come back once you've racked up more points. Hey there, musclehead.
Okay.
I ought to stick to that racing.
Now...
Got your deck in order?
Oh. Nightmare? Attain Blood Legend. Okay, so it's the advanced and the survival. Compete in a tough match spanning 3 rounds to see how many total points you can accrue. Win and receive a reward based on your total, your point total. Support card will be added to your hand at the start of round 1. You'll draw 5 cards started of each round. You cannot draw cards during the round. Okay. Gimmick Battlefield High Ground. Begin the match with high rank positions already on the battlefield. Throw your most powerful troops into the fray right from the start in this overpowered war of attrition. Ooh. I gotta come up with my own deck now. Okay, well, let's take 2. So does that mean I can just do 2 and 3? Yo. What up, what up, what up? How's work? It was just decent. Decent. Got in. Got some things done. No major blowouts. Except for one thing that's kind of... not a blowout, but just annoying. That we gotta figure something out for. But all in all... pretty good. Pretty good. Ooh, 2 of those. 2 of those. Ooh, 2 of those. 2 of those. Sure, why not 2 of those? One of you, one of you. Sure, we'll do you. Enhanced. I don't want replacements. Destroy cards, sure. And we need one more. There's probably one for each enhanced card. Replace an ally and raise the power of allied cards on effect tiles by respective allies' power. Lower the power of cards, sure. Okay, let's try this. I don't know. I'm just doing all 3 pawns. This might go terribly for me though. Ooh, enemy cards are played from hands. And when ally cards are played from hand. Perfect. Oh, this is actually perfect. I start with the three pawn. And I get more 3 pawns. Okay. This is kind of what I expected. So I need to create more. Okay, this may be bad. Okay, let's try enemy cards. Don't want to do that. Enemy cards are played. Okay, this is actually really bad. I can't. Okay, I need. Okay, I need 2 costs. Or 1 cost. Okay, that's. I may have overdone it there. Okay, let's edit deck 4. Let's actually go something with a lot of strong cards. Revolves on cards with low power that raise your positions ranks by 2. Fill empty positions before your opponent can claim yours. Expand your domain as far as possible. And then when you've expanded it, play Shiva to fill your empty positions. Sure. So we're just playing all the mini games in the mini game arena right now. So I did the bike one, which was surprisingly easy. I like one-shot it and got everything from there. And now I'm doing all of the Queen's Blood puzzles. After that, we'll do the BattleBot Arena. And then after that, we only have what's left? The Haunted Hotel, which is where we need to go, and the Sky Wheel, which is where I get the date. So I'm going to save it before the date just to see who I get. Just in case. When you win a lane, bonus score. Okay, well, sure. Perfect, we needed a 2 cost. Oh, this is great. Okay, let's do that. Okay, this is an actual deck, so I want to play that. Okay, this does the same +1 power. Yep, of course you're going to play it there. This is... Ugh. This is bad. So I'm gonna win this lane. Actually, I don't think I need to do the center lane anymore, but I don't have any more spots. Which is... actually unlucky. But that's plus 30. I might actually win. I want to see what he does. Okay. This center lane might actually be that powerful. So right now he has 5 and I have 30. It depends on what he puts in the center spot right here. Okay, he won. Never mind. Okay. He won. Because if he didn't win that center spot and I won the lane, I would have gotten 30 chips out of it. Which means I actually probably could have won. Sure, let's do this. Okay, this is a decent start. Mostly Queen's Blood tonight. I mean, there's a lot of puzzles I gotta get through, so yeah, probably mostly Queen's Blood. And then if we do happen to get through... Ooh. Don't mind if I do. And then if we do get through all the Queen's Blood puzzles, then we'll do some BattleBot arena stuff, which is like the pseudo fighting game with like like 3D polygonal models. There's a Shiva, but we're only gonna get one. So I need to get as much... I need to get as many spaces as I can. If he takes the top or bottom, I can steal it back. Okay, that's fine. So I can steal it back. Okay. Yo, Ocean 0077, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. 0007. That's a sick name. And the numbers are actually decent. It's not like 35624. Played this game last year. Rebirth is freaking awesome. I know. It is. I put like 80 hours into it. I'm having fun the whole time. Do you think you get around 10k steps a day when you're at work? 10k. How far is 10k steps? How far is 10k steps? 4.5 to 5 miles. Ooh, I don't think so. I don't think that far. Well, it depends on the day. But I think on average, no, I probably get a little far less. Can I share some FF7 news that just came out? Is it like in regards to the third one? Like, did they talk about it? Did the director do an interview or something? As long as it's not spoilery on the end of this game, then sure. Oh, I blocked links. Sorry. And I think I lose here. I block links for obvious, well, not obvious reasons, but actually, yeah, kind of obvious reasons, because of bots and people that are trying to link their Discord and stuff like that. I could whisper it. Yeah, sure, you can whisper it if you would like to. Okay, so this deck is not working for me. No, I don't want to start the match. I want to edit it, and I want to change it. I want to see your reaction to it on stream. Okay. X.com. Okay. Twitter link seems okay. Okay. Rumor. Final Fantasy VII Part 3 info regarding title, announcement, and launch. Okay, so before I read the full thing, that's just all I read. I didn't read anything else. Title, it's another R word, almost assuredly. Launch, it's... So what I heard... This is just me going off without looking at it. I'm not... So it's over here, and I'm not... chat's over here, and I pulled it up over here. So from what I understand is that a lot of Japanese companies, their year end is in April 1st, so they tend to release a lot of games in that January to March time frame, which is why Capcom released Resident Evil 9 back in February. I think that's when Rebirth and Remake came out, was like beginning of the year, so it's probably gonna be between that time frame, usually like a January, February type thing. But because it's Square Enix and they have the new Final Fantasy XIV expansion coming out in January, which they just announced back at FanFest, they probably won't do it the same month, so they probably want to wait a month. So my guess is that it's going to be around February, just so that everyone who plays Final Fantasy XIV can play Final Fantasy XIV, because there's a lot of crossover between Final Fantasy games. Like typically if you play 14, you'll either have played other Final Fantasies or been interested in other Final Fantasies, so I'm guessing it's an R-word title, released in February of 2027, because it gives them another couple months, which means they'll probably do some sort of trailer or something about it later this year, maybe in the summer. That's my guess. RE9 was so cool. Yeah, it was. I played that when it came out. It was great. And then I did another casual speed run after to get the beat it in under 4 hours achievement, which was nice. That was pretty fun. Yeah, Capcom's kind of going on a banger right now. Mr. X Nemesis mentioned Hunk Woo. Yeah, it had everything. It was a reference galore. Going back to RPD, Mr. Tofu, hidden Easter eggs. There was even more stuff in it than I thought. Then Kennedy to go. I mean, he's my favorite Resident Evil protagonist, but that's because I liked 4 so much. I'm not even a huge Resident Evil fan. I haven't played 2 or 3. I played 4 and 4 Remake. I played 5. The 4 Remake is top tier. The Capcom games, they're going off on a generational run, as it were. I finished Pragmata. That was awesome. Excellent game. Very excellent game, actually. Resident Evil 9 was great. The remake was great. Street Fighter 6 is doing really well. They just had EVO Japan like yesterday or 2 days ago. I watched a bit of the finals. That was great. New RE9 minigame? What do you mean? Minigame like a DLC? Are you talking about like what they did with Resident Evil 7 and 8, where they had like a mini expansion pack that's like a couple hours, or like a mini DLC? That'd be cool. I'd play that. Like an additional story that you get to play kind of thing. They are adding a minigame after Golden Week of Japan. So when you mean mini game, you mean literally a miniature game. No, this is not a DLC. It's a mini game. Like, are they just updating it and adding like mercenaries? Oh, okay, yeah. Like a new mode, basically. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Okay, cool. All right, let me look at this announcement. Okay, rumor: Final Fantasy 7 Part 3 info. Title: Final Fantasy 7 Return. Okay, it's an R title. To be revealed at Summer Game Fest with an early 2027 launch window. Yep, they got a trailer in the works. They're gonna release it later this year, sometime in summer. Yep, early 2027. Yep, probably the February to March time schedule. Yep. 3 additional permanent playable party members, one of whom is brand new. So the 2 obvious ones are Sid and Vincent, because they're not playable in Rebirth. Who'd be the new playable character? A new playable character. 3rd new character. I see internet going crazy right now. I can't even imagine who it would be. Oh. I think I know who it is. Well, actually, no, I don't. Because it all depends on the ending of this game, which I don't know yet. Like, I've had people pseudo spoil it, like, kind of generally, like, hey, this is kind of what's happening, but they haven't been like, this is exactly what happened, so I still don't know. When Cloud is in a coma on the chair, Zack takes over. That's kind of that's where my mind was going. That's of course assuming that it follows a storyline. Because that would be when he falls into the live stream, and then from the original game, at least. Because in the original game, because this game seems to be following pretty linearly the story. So this would be when, after all that stuff that happens with the Black Materia, and I'm just going on the original, I don't know the ending of this one, you know, go to the Temple of the Ancients, it shrinks down to the Black Materia, Cloud then gives the Black Materia to Sephiroth. I'm assuming that's about where the game ends. I kind of already had a feeling that's in the Northern Crater, that's like the big you know, final battle stuff happens there, which would mean Cloud falls into the live stream, which makes sense because it's the second part of a trilogy, and usually the ending of the second part of the trilogy is usually the lowest point of all the characters. They could also, like, a one-shot chapter character, like how Sephiroth was a one-time use in Chapter 1. That would, yeah, they could. That would be... Well, because that wouldn't make sense, because you do technically play Zack in Rebirth, too. So you play Sephiroth in the demo, and you do technically play Zack for a couple of sections. So he is a playable character, but you're not really, you know, you're not really playing him. So I don't know about that. I think when they say playable character, they mean like you can play most of you're gonna be playing him for a majority, for majority of the game, or at least a decent chunk of it. Yeah, so probably definitely Sid, definitely Vincent, and then probably Zack, I'm guessing. New optional combat system named Active Turn Action. Active Turn Action. optional combat system. Active turn action. This makes me think of one of two different directions. Yeah, this makes me think of one of two different directions. Either because currently, as it stands, the action is you can press buttons to do auto attacks, or normal attacks, like weak attacks, strong attacks, and then offensive abilities, and those are all in real time. But when you go into your menu, you pause the menu and time kind of slows way, way, way down. So when I hear active turn action, what I'm hearing is either that menu pause, time slowdown is not going to happen at all. So you literally just, because you can only hotkey a certain number of abilities, so they might make it to where it's just full real-time combat, and like kind of like Kingdom Hearts combat, where you're navigating the menu but time's not changing whatsoever. That could be one. Over 3 times more narrative cinematics as featured in Rebirth in terms of duration, and over 2 times the world size as featured in Rebirth, including returning to Midgar. So this kind of makes sense, because you have, assumedly, the Highwind in the third game. Because they have a lot to cover. Remake covered the first 10% of the OG. Rebirth covered the next 40% or so. So Part 3 has the last 50% to cover. Yeah, because in terms of world size, we're getting to all the main places, right? We're getting to obviously all the story areas, right? Continents where you're doing all that stuff. You get a little bit of the sea, but it's kind of like a world map style where everything's kind of shrunk. So you're not getting like the full size of everything, so everything's kind of condensed. But in the third game, we're going to get the Highwind, meaning we can go everywhere. Meaning now they can just expand out everything. They can add, and what they have been doing is adding to every aspect of the game. So like all the mini games, there's more mini games to play. All the combat, they've added and enhanced the combat. The story, they've added the kind of little corpse and cutscenes that kind of enhance the characters, like back and forth, and their character arcs and their motivations and everything. Like they talk way, way, way more. So they just been, and like the in between sections of what would have been in the original OG, they're just adding, I don't want to call it fluff because it's not really fluff, but they're just adding more in between all of those main sections that the original OG7 cover. So it makes sense to say that all of the stuff that when you did get the Highwind, all the places that you could go and do, they're going to just go crazy with new islands, new continents, new adventures, new all of that stuff. Because now we can go anywhere, so we're probably going to have the entirety of the world to explore, which means they can add completely new continents. They can add, like new adventures on different islands. They can add so much stuff, and they can add stuff and they can change stuff. We haven't even touched Medeal, Wutai, Northern Crater, Rocket Town. See, with the addition of Cid, I don't know if they changed Rocket Town, because I think the first time we see him in the original is in Rocket Town. I was wondering about Wutai, but when it said like I got the achievement for and I think I did see some previews of like some preview pictures of Wutai because I was watching Maximilian's stream. So I did see like they had some like not actual concept, but like in-game footage, in-game pictures, I should say, images of Wutai. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I got the achievement for getting all of the side quest stuff done and collecting all the piano pieces. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're not going to Wutai. The weapons, we still have a ton of weapons, and they added new weapons or like additional weapons to do. Yep, the Knights of the Round. Yeah, so they have a lot of stuff to pull from and a lot of stuff that they can like add to. So they have a lot of stuff to get to. Details on the new optional active turn action combat system. Okay, they got details. Final Fantasy VII Remake Triple Pack sale. Remake, Rebirth, Crisis Core Reunion, all bundled into one collection for a holiday launch. Okay, so I've already played... So I played Crisis Core Reunion before. I think I played Rebirth, and then I played Crisis Core Reunion, and then I replayed Rebirth, and then I'm playing Remake now. I mean, is this surprising? The one thing that surprises me is the new optional active turn action combat system. I want to know what that means specifically, because I don't actually know what that means. Like I said, it could be just Kingdom Hearts style, where there's no time pausing and you're just always like doing action combat continuously, and you have to choose stuff on the fly, and it's like a harder version because you have less time to think now. Or it could be like as soon as you get your ATB bar, now you can just like time freezes and you can make a decision. Like it goes the opposite way. It makes it a little bit easier. And then you can choose to just auto attack, or you can choose to do an offensive ability, a spell, an item, like as soon as you get it. So like, okay, now you don't have to hit the button, and it's like a little bit easier. Active turn action. That's just non-descriptive at all whatsoever. I like the triple pack, but I think that was kind of like expected that they're gonna just bundle everything together, because they said before Rebirth, I believe, that you'll want to play Crisis Core Reunion because that is the official version of Crisis Core. So they definitely said that. Final Fantasy VII Return. That's a cool name. I like that name. That's like, yeah. 3 additional permanent playable. I think it's Zack, but they could just go crazy with that. They could just go completely in a different direction. They could do something even weirder, like I don't know. They could do something even weirder. I don't know enough, because I have to finish this game to see what the differences are to make a more accurate prediction. Because like even in my head I'm like, well, what if they change it to where the like Sephiroth that got pushed into the live stream back in Nibelheim, because all the Sephiroths that we're seeing is actually Genova cells, but what if the Sephiroth that was back in Nibelheim actually comes out of the live stream because they do some crazy shit where they just revive everyone from the live stream, like Aerith revives everyone from the live stream for the final battle, Avenger style, and then Sephiroth, that the real one that died, comes back and fights himself, who is just the like cells of Genova taking over the hooded figures, and then we get to play as Sephiroth in the final act. Like it could be something crazy like that, you know? because they're not afraid to change stuff up, but they're like keeping it on pace, but they could do some wild shit in the third one. Because they can completely change the ending. They can like, okay, we're following the story, and then the ending's just like, okay, we're gonna just completely change it to something like it's gonna end the same way, right? It's gonna end with we beat Jenova. We beat Jenova. We beat Sephiroth is gone or whatever, or like Cloud beats Sephiroth in his mind, and then we use the holy materia to stop the meteor materia. Or the black materia. So that, like, it could be the same outcome, but it could be a different journey to that outcome. And they can make that journey to the outcome completely, like, however they want it to be. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. They gotta, like, they gotta stick the landing. They gotta just stick the landing. And it'll probably be one of the greatest trilogies that's ever been made. How hyped are you now? Is your number one game you're looking forward to? I think so. Because I'm hyped for the 14 expansion as well. So I'm going to go back in November, maybe September, November, when the holiday season starts coming in and we have a bunch of time off. And I'm going to catch up on all the Dawn Trail patches. I'm going to play that and then do Evercold and then go right from Evercold to Final Fantasy VII Return or whatever it might be. Vincent's going to be badass. He's already like an edgy little badass edgelord in this game. And you fight his form, and his form's kind of bullshit. Well, it seems strong, so it's, and you're hyping up because you want that to be a tough boss battle, because then it's like, okay, now you know what to expect, so now you're excited for when you actually get him and you can use that bestial form on everyone else. The gunplay, they should know that it's going to be very different from, like, say, a Barret with his gunplay, because Barret's very much a tank. He's very much like a ranged tank in a way, where he's just standing and firing, but Vincent's a lot more athletic. He's a lot more... Also, Genesis or Nah. They did say, and there's a lot of Loveless mentions throughout even Rebirth, right? There's a Loveless card, there's Loveless posters all over the place. And they did say to people that were playing the trilogy, to play Crisis Core Reunion first, because that is the, like, they basically hinted that, like, you'll want to play this game to refresh yourself on all the lore of Crisis Core before going into Remake and Rebirth. Because technically Genesis is still alive after Crisis Core. I think so. It's been a while since I played Crisis Core, but I think we beat him, but, like, it's like an anime death, right? Where he dies, but you don't see his body, and then you see the feathers kind of falling. Although I think the feathers were actually black, which would mean, who's Zack's mentor? His mentor, I forgot his name, but the guy that originally gives him the Buster Sword. Whereas a white feather would actually be... Proves at the end of Dirge of Cerberus, Genesis comes down to obtain Weiss's body. I don't know how much they are leaning into the older titles as much, right? Because that was from the original Crisis Core. I think of the new one, it's like the remake Crisis Core. I don't remember if he's like dead or not, even in that one. Like, they also might be like, hey, instead of you killing him at the end of the original and then he comes back and it's like a surprise, we're just going to be like, hey, he died but didn't really die because our lore kind of already informed you of that, so we're just going to make it canon now going into this game, so that there is, like, you know, it's easier to speculate that he's going to come back. So the G cells are still running amok? Yeah. Yeah, the G cells are still running amok. So, but they could very, very easily do that and just bring some of the characters in Crisis Core, which they've already done because they brought Cissnei back in Gongaga. So Cissnei, which I actually learned before that she was actually originally in a Turks focused phone game from like 2004 was when Cissnei originally appeared, but her name was Shuriken, I think, and then they kind of changed her to be Zack's like childhood friend in Gongaga in Crisis Core, but they've already added her, and so if you know Crisis Core, then you'll understand her story. So like you're not super confused because you know that she's waiting for Zack. You know that you know, she was formerly a Turk. You already understand all these things, so it's not like a super surprise when you're doing quests in Rebirth because you already know this character. To be fair, if they brought in a Dirge Cerberus character, Weiss, in Remake, the Crisis Core character doesn't sound too crazy. Wasn't Weiss... Is he just he's just a boss battle, right? He's the super boss in Integrate. Okay, yeah, he's the super boss and he's just in the simulator. But they did bring him back. They said director and character designer Tetsuya Nomura chose him for a secret boss role because Weiss is a powerful enemy outside of Sephiroth. Yep, there's absolutely no other reason other than he's just a non-Sephiroth strong enemy. Definitely. But there's like no story on him. They're just like, we just need a super boss that's not Sephiroth because Sephiroth's the main protagonist or main antagonist of the game. Genesis, even if the morrow is barren of promises, nothing shall forestall my return. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking that there's gonna be some kind of weird, like, Jenova and Genesis fuse together, like Sephiroth. It's gonna be like you beat Jenova, and then but you don't kill it, and then Sephiroth gets like, no, and then Genesis fuses with Jenova. Jenova regains all the G cells. She goes on a crazy tangent, like Kefka in 6, and just basically destroys the world. And then the Cetra that are in the live stream, led by Aerith, need to stop him, so they like revive the only person they know that's strong enough to actually go up against Jenova, which would be Sephiroth. And then you get Sephiroth in your party to go up against the Genesis Jenova hybrid. That would be sick. You said Meteor stopped. Technically, yes, the original OG is like an open-ended, and which made it so great. It's like an open-ended, you know, wholly cleanse the planet of all of its impurities, but did that include humans or not, kind of thing. Yeah. No one knows if Meteor stopped. Oh no, Meteor was stopped. because it would have destroyed the planet. Holy goes off, but the question is not whether or not Meteor was stopped. It's the question of, did Holy cleanse the planet of just Meteor and stopped it? Or does it, or, you know, Meteor, or does it cleanse the planet of all of its impurities, which the planet includes humans in that aspect? Yeah, if humans were killed or not, yeah. Yeah, but the sequels kind of changed that lore because Advent Children, obviously, it's like, oh, just kidding, it's the good ending where they're stopped. Yeah. Or like humans aren't wiped from the face of the planet. Exactly. But, you know, Nomura's one of those crafty ones. He could do a lot of different stuff. For part 3, what will happen at the end of the game? Well, I mean, it's the third part, and it's following the series. Not, like, closely, but not really. Like, they made changes, but the destinations are the same. Even if the journey to said destinations may differ. So I'm guessing it's going to be the same thing at the end, where we win, obviously. But then what kind of victory does that mean? Like, what kind of win do we achieve, right? Is it the win in the original OG, where basically everyone except Aerith survive, but Aerith survives in the live stream, and Holy is, or the, not Holy, but the white materia is used and cleanses the planet of the black materia, and everyone lives happily ever after? Or are they going to change it up to where they're going to bring in all these characters from Crisis Core, because there's a lot of like clones and crazy shenanigans happening, which they do reference in here, but like it's just gone from Remake and Rebirth, other than, you know, the Weiss super fight. And that's where they can kind of go a little crazy with the journey that eventually leads to the same destination. It's just now we've got more people at the end of it. Maximilian is a huge believer that we are in the second universe, the previous one being the 1997 universe, which is why Remake is a sequel. From my understanding, and I could be wrong about this, is that yes, we are in not the original. This is my understanding, and this is kind of where I'm seeing the game, at least Rebirth, from at this point. So what happened was, we are in a different universe than the original. The plot ghosts that were in Remake were trying to recreate the actions and events of the original Final Fantasy VII, like the good plot ghosts, because obviously in Rebirth there are bad plot ghosts now. They're trying to recreate the events of the original Final Fantasy VII because they know that at the end, Jenova is defeated, Sephiroth is defeated, and everyone lives happily ever after. The problem is, we fought the plot ghosts and won, meaning that history, or that those events now can be changed. Meaning we're still going to go through, generally speaking, the journey, but now things can differ, and they have slightly in Rebirth. Things can differ, meaning that the original story is not going to necessarily come to fruition, which I think is being instigated by Jenova, because Jenova in this game is far more powerful than the original, understands that if the events were to occur in the same timeline, that she will lose, right? So she, using the vessel of Sephiroth, right, is trying to change that history, kind of convinces Cloud and his team to go against fate in order to change events so that she can actually win at the end rather than lose. And what that did was, at the end of Remake, it fucked up the original universe. And the original universe is these Zack flashbacks that we're seeing, where you see Zack actually survives and makes it to Midgar. There was the flame tornado that basically killed the party, and it's just Zack and Biggs. As far as I know, there's going to be more scenes at the end of this game, and I don't know what those scenes are, so please don't say anything if you know. But that was the original universe, which is now all fucked up because of the destroying fate stuff. But now the original universe is all messed up, and that's gonna culminate into some very weird universe combining things in the third game. So I think that's what he's referring to, is like the original 97 universe is the one that Zack is in and Biggs is in, and that everyone else is basically dead except for like Marlene and Aerith's adoptive mother. And so there's going to be some sort of way to cross universes, or like characters will plot-wise cross universes, which will probably mean that we're going to get some reunion characters, because they might not exist in the new universe, but they might exist in the old one because stuff's changed, right? Yeah. So that's what I think is going to happen, but I'm not entirely sure. It's blatantly clear that Aerith and Sephiroth knew the OG spoilers of Part 1. Yes. They know far more than they're letting on, which means they probably know. Like, it could be the case that the Aerith we know isn't actually an Aerith from this universe. She could be either from a different universe, or the souls in the live stream have basically told her, hey, this is actually what's going to happen. And so she's kind of following, she understands that they're the good plot ghosts, and she understands what needs to be done because she knows that she's going to die, essentially. At least in the original story, she knows that she would die, but then the world would be saved. So she's kind of going through all of this, like, with a smile on her face and understanding the consequences and everything. And she's like, this needs to happen, that sort of thing. Sephiroth basically baited Cloud to destroy the OG story. Now anything's possible. Yes. Although I don't know if it was... The only question is, I don't know if it was Sephiroth specifically, like a Sephiroth from the original that transports into our universe that baits him, or if it was Jenova controlling like a plot ghost that turns into Sephiroth, Like, I don't know if it's like actually Sephiroth or if it's just Jenova who was doing the actual controlling. Those 3 Whisper Harbinger bosses at the end of Remake are actually future manifestations of Kadaj, Luz, and Yozu. One has a blade, fist, and dual guns. You do fight Whisper Bahamut, and Kadaj summons Bahamut at the end of Advent Children. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that could be true, or it could just be like a fun little, like, Easter egg kind of thing. The OG story never shows Black Feathers until Remake, which shows that this Sephiroth is from Advent Children. I don't know if we're going that far, that he's from Advent Children, necessarily, but it might mean that he's, like, from the future, or him going into the life stream gave him the power of foresight, basically. So he could understand the future and then how he would need to actually change it. And he would understand you can't change it in the OG, you have to go to an alternate universe to be able to change it. Like it could be that kind of thing. Which I think that's kind of what everyone is thinking at this point. I find it interesting that at the end of Remake, when Red 13 had visions of the OG ending, he said, "This is what will happen if we fail," which kind of leans towards calling the OG ending the bad timeline. I don't necessarily think so. I mean, yes, he might think that, but he also could see it as like the same thing will play out if we fail. So it could be, yes, he thinks that the OG is the bad timeline because of how grim it gets later on, but it could also be a like director breaking the fourth wall instance of, hey, if we fail, the same game is going to play out. So if we succeed, a different game is going to play out. Three main timelines, in my opinion: the OG, Remake, and the Zack Survives timeline. See, I think the original 97 is the Zack Survives timeline. I think that them breaking Fate actually just changed the OG timeline into the now Zack Survives. Because in Rebirth, and it like changed it in Midgar, basically. Like Midgar is basically like right currently an alternate. Well, no, actually it's not, because things are happening in the actual Midgar in the new timeline that are not occurring in the original. But yeah, I think that them breaking Fate changed the OG timeline, which is that Zack survives, everyone dies to like flame tornadoes, Biggs survives, but Wedge, Jesse, the original cast, they're all dead. I know Sephiroth traveled through space and time just to run it back. I mean, he's one of the most nostalgic and powerful entities in all of gaming, so it would make sense that they're just like, let's just make him crazier. Meanwhile, Zack, I get to run it back too. I mean, technically, this is the first time he gets to run it. He didn't really run it back in the OG because he's already dead, but... So he's running it back for the first time. In a sense. But now he gets to run. It's not running it back, it's running it front, I guess. Okay. Let's see. I need a good deck for this. Before all that speculation, I gotta beat this Queen's Blood. These Queen's Blood puzzles. But yeah, no, this is, I mean, I'm not super surprised by any of this, but it's good that they like, well, it's not even confirmed, it's a rumor, but these are kind of expected rumors, except for the new combat system, which is interesting. Yeah, they're gonna have a bigger world, that's kind of expected. Another R-Word title, gonna launch sometime in February, March timeframe. That's kind of expected. The bundle's really cool, so that's definitely like you can get the full collector's edition of all the games. And if I hadn't played them already, I would probably get that. But I'm just curious about this new combat system that they talked about, whether it's a hard mode or an easy mode. That's in June, right? Yeah. Summer Games Fest. Yeah, I kind of figured that they're going to show something off in the summer to get the hype started about 6 or 8 months beforehand. And it's going to be sweet. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be a sick trailer. Am I excited? It's here's the problem. It's hard to get excited for the next game when I'm playing the game before it. When I'm super excited for this one. I know after I finish this one, I'm gonna get even more excited for the next one. I'm gonna be like, that game was awesome. Can't wait for the next one. But definitely, yeah, I'm excited. Compose the cards that either weaken or destroy other cards, regardless of affiliation. Once you clear the battlefield, use Mandragoras to add cards to your hand, skip possession, growing your Sea Devil's power. Okay, let's try this one. But yeah, the speculations are going wild. The predictions and everything is pretty insane. I want this guy. Keep these guys. We can start with a Sea Dog. Perfect. I'm gonna be honest, this game had a ton of mini games. I kind of hope they have less mini games in the third one because this is a lot. Not less stuff to do, don't get me wrong, but just less mini games and more like other stuff. Like, I know they're gonna have like snowboarding and they're gonna have like crazy stuff like that, but oh man, fully powered up allied. I could go this and then try to do that. As long as he doesn't take that mid spot. But I feel like he's gonna take that mid spot. Oh, he's not gonna take that mid spot. Oh, nice. Okay. I find it funny that the third numbered title of Kingdom Hearts came out at the end of the PS4 life cycle, and now the third Final Fantasy VII games come out at the end of the PS5 cycle. I think I need to do this first. Yeah, it is kind of funny. And then Kingdom Hearts 4 isn't going to come out until like the PlayStation 6. It's going to skip the PS5 entirely. Fully power allied and enemy cards. Okay, it's Boom Boom, so that's going to do that, right? So I want to do... If he doesn't play a card there, I can steal it. If I do this, though, I get that. And then he's got to pick one. Oh, he's going to win by 10 if I don't. If I do this, I should be okay, though. I got to win that top lane. Yeah, I think... Oh! Oh, that sucks. That really, really sucks. Because he's got 19. Yeah, this will reduce it. Give me plus 6. Oh, that canceled it out? But he's still gonna... I don't have any replacements, do I? Yeah, I don't. Damn it. He wins by 20. Yeah, I gotta restart. Okay, not bad. I gotta try this again, though. While this card is in play... I want to get this down first. think they'll be faithful. Like, you cannot use Aerith in part 3. They could just have her assets for cutscenes. Like, they could stick with it. Like, that's totally something they could do. But I mean, like, combat assets. I'm not trying to say no, but I'm just trying to say, like, they could juke us out or, like, psych us out. Like, they could have, like, a flashback. They could have her in, like, the Zack. She could, like, wake up in the original OG. And so now it's Zack and Aerith fighting in their timeline while Cloud and the rest of the party are fighting in the new timeline. Like, we could play as her, but I don't think it's going to be just, like, she comes back, you know, like, directly. It could be, like, something else like that. I don't want to use a Mandragora, though. I think this is a play. So, like, I like, and it could be just be like they just imported all of the assets. Two. This doesn't give me anything. This gives me this though. +2. And then I can lower. Oh, you replaced it, you son of a. If I do this, you'll go here. If I do this, I hope to stay faithful because in the OG it sent a meaningful message to remove her completely. She's gonna be in the game in some capacity, right? But I just don't think it's gonna be a she rejoins our party kind of thing. Well, this sucks. I'll reduce that. I gotta do one or the other. I think this helps me the most. But you can just place something in the center and steal it. But then I can steal... Okay, you're doing that. He's just gonna... He's just gonna play something and take both those spots. Well, that's not the... Actually, that's pretty bad. I don't have anything that goes up. Oh my god. I don't have anything that goes up. Alright. And he has 10. He wins that. Yeah. Do you know what January 31st, 2027 is? Yeah, that's gonna be like the 30th anniversary of the OG, I think, right? It came out in 97. And so 2027 would be the 30th anniversary. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Definitely want the Sea Dog. Could do this. But then I don't have a... Well, actually, I could do this. 30 is a big deal. Oh, it's a huge deal. And that's probably why they're definitely releasing it next year. Okay, so I do this. And then I can put the Sea Devil on there. Okay, you're making that bigger. That gives me 2, but I want to play this first. FF7 2027, yep. That's pretty sick. Okay, if I can make this a 3, If I can make that center part a 3-pawn, I can get my magic pot on it. I can steal that, he'll steal that, I'll put a magic pot. Allied affected cards. Okay, so I can do this too. I don't think it matters. Yeah, it just lined up really perfectly, which is why I think they started development when they did, because oh, I can't do that. Oh, but I have to. And I can't place anything else. Ah, damn it. I need my replacement deck, I think. Yeah, I think I need my replacement deck. Which was this one. It'd be cool if we had to fight all 12 members of the Knights of the Round one by one. I mean, yeah, they could, because in the original it's just you fight the summon and then you get the summon, but it could be like an entire quest where you have to go around the world and find each individual knight, and then once you beat all of the individual knights, then you have to go to the special island and then you fight them all at the same time and then you get the summon. It could be something like that, which would be really cool. Okay, I don't want my replacements now. Okay, this is kind of gonna suck because I have low cost cards, but we'll see if I can do this. And that's what I mean by they can enhance stuff. Yeah, Wutai is going to be awesome. Ooh, perfect. That's a good card. I see, I see. Yes, yes, I knew you would do that. Yeah, Wutai is gonna be awesome. It's all gonna be awesome. You just know it. Okay, and now if we do this, it's gonna kill him. Steal that, I can steal it back. So it kills that. He can take either of the spots, but then I can come back. Okay. And then I can take... Ooh, I can take the bottom or I can take the top. I think I want to take the... Oh. This sucks. That happened in OG. Return to Midgar and fight all 4 Turks at once. Yeah. No, they're gonna have all of... I don't know how they're gonna do the leveling. Because they started Rebirth at level 15. They might start you at level like 30 or something. Like you just start at 30 and you get a bunch of abilities immediately. I gotta take this, don't I? Because he can take that. I also want to take this. Let's try this. Part 3 Secret Boss Sora. That would be funny. That'd be quite humorous. Ooh. Let's take you out. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Okay. Now I can take this spot. You're gonna take that one, are ya? Okay, okay, okay. Well, we'll just have to take it back. It would be full circle. Cloud and Sephiroth entered Sora's world, Sora enters theirs. Yeah. That would be funny. I got a couple replacements that I can do. I definitely want to replace you. I need to beat 25. That's fine. Now I need to replace you. Okay, I think I win. How'd you react if Sora was the last secret Chadley? I don't know if Chadley's coming back, I'm gonna be honest. And then we'll replace you. And then I win. I don't know if Chadley's coming back to do all that. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't know if they want to do the Chadley stuff again. How'd you react to your secret boss? It would be funny. Because then they'd have to put Final Fantasy VII Return into Kingdom Hearts 4. Because in Kingdom Hearts 4, we're already going around to like more like instead of like known IPs that we're going into what's called like the world of imagination. Where it's kind of like whatever you can dream up, it can happen. Which means now they can do all of their original IPs. They can do... I mean, people have been wanting it for forever, of actually going to a Final Fantasy in Kingdom Hearts and just getting a small taste of like the Final Fantasy story where Sora joins up. I hope they do it. I'm not holding out for it. But if Sora was in Final Fantasy Return, or Final Fantasy VII, the third one, it would lend a lot of credence to them actually going to a Final Fantasy game in Kingdom Hearts, which, fingers crossed. Because they're already doing the realistic city, the Japanese style Shibuya, and they're, Kingdom Hearts is going to go in a completely different direction, which they need to, because that story was so goddamn convoluted. They needed like a full reset. And then you just go back to Heartless, maybe Nobody's. The whole 13 versus 7 thing is done. They don't have to worry about it. They absolutely kind of botched it, I'm gonna be honest, but they can toss that to the side and now just start a whole new thing, which is what I really hope they do. Start with Mai, who unleashes a powerful effect when she claims an ally. In addition to the other cards in your hand, give your enthusiastic AI guide the chance to prove that not only does she not play second fiddle to Chadley, she leads the band. Okay, so we're not going to start with pawn areas, which means we gotta... Oh, we got 3 Mai's. If I was creating the scene, Sephiroth takes one look at Sora, smirks, turns around and tells Cloud, you handle this, because he knows he got his ass beat from Sora in another universe, and then Cloud and Sora fight. Cloud's like, I feel like I've seen you somewhere. Oh, there's gonna be little... Well, it's gonna be like... Well, that actually wouldn't be true, because it would have been the Cloud in the original OG, or like the Advent Children Cloud, that fought Sora. It wouldn't be this new Cloud, right? Because this Cloud's from an alternate universe where he never went to Kingdom Hearts. So they're going to play with that, like Sora knows Cloud, but Cloud doesn't know Sora. And like Sora knows Sephiroth because he's beat him twice, but Sephiroth doesn't know Sora. So Sora's going to be like, hey Cloud, and Cloud's going to be like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? I've never seen you before. And Cloud's like, and Sora's like, it's me, your best bud, Sora. Don't you remember? We fought Sephiroth together? And he's like, Sephiroth. Like, how do you know Sephiroth? It's like, oh yeah, we fought a couple of times, you know. Yeah, I took care of him. He was pretty easy, you know. Or it's like, oh, he was pretty difficult, but you know, I beat him a couple times. I still make a simple nod, just like a little reference. I think Sora is going to be full of references at... I think it's going to be the inverse of what you think. You think Cloud and Sephiroth will know Sora. I think Sora is going to know Cloud and Sephiroth. Like, he's going to be the one that be like, hey, you remember that time we were at Hollow Bastion together and we had to fight like an army of 1,000 Heartless? And Cloud's like, what's a Heartless? And Sora's like, you really don't remember that? Oh, man. Or like, do you remember that time where you were looking for somebody and... Make a good scene, Cloud, what the hell? This kid knows fire, ice, and thunder. Well, Cloud would be like, how are you using magic without materia? And Sora would be like, what's materia? I don't know, I just know magic, man. Cloud's like, who is this kid? Why does the sword look so weird? Like a giant key. Yeah. Like, Cloud and Sephiroth would be the ones that don't know anything. Sword class Cascade, Cloud, you know that too? Yeah. Exactly. That's what I think would make for a great scene. Now, do I think they're going to put Sora in FF7 Return? No, absolutely not. He would only be there in like a super boss kind of form, kind of like Weiss in Remake, where it's just a simulation, if at all. Would make for a cool super boss, because Sora would know like Reflect and Magnet, and it might even be a triple like 3-on-3 fight with Donald and Goofy. It could do that. They could do that maybe. But I don't think he's gonna have any relevance in the story. Now in Kingdom Hearts, they could do something where Cloud and Sephiroth go over to Kingdom Hearts, and then you could do all the stuff that you're talking about. But I don't think they're gonna do one where Sora's in the final thing of Remake. They could do that. They could do like a gimmick. They could do like an ultimate weapon, and then they could do like a gimmick super powerful weapon that's like the Keyblade. Yeah, they could do that. Like the Kingdom Key. They could definitely do something like that as like a... either like a skin or like a... like if you do all of the super difficult, grindy, like side quest type stuff, then you get this super cool blade, and it's the Keyblade. They could definitely do something like that. I would add in the description of the weapon, somehow the weapon feels familiar. Bum, 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 bum. What's this do? Replace an ally and lower the power of enemy cards on affected tiles by the replaced ally's power. This could come in useful later. I do need a... What's your power? 6? Okay, I do need a 3-pawn spot. Okay, we'll add you. And then... It's so funny to see Sephiroth not want to fight the kid. Yeah. Or like he gets a vision, or like, yeah, he has like an understanding that Sora's beat him twice already. So he's like, you know, I don't know how he would act, but he would just like turn around and walk away or something. And Sora would be like, oh, you a sore loser? And he'd be like, I've never lost against you. Sora's like, are you sure? He's like, what are you talking about? I beat you twice. We can do... This is a little awkward. I could do this. Then I wouldn't get that spot. I could do this. He's probably going to take it back. Cause like, don't tell me you got punked by Brad. Well, now you're assuming Sephiroth and Cloud are on the same wavelength. Ooh, I could take it that way, and he would take it back, and then I would take it back. Oh, but I'm not gonna get any bottom spots. So he takes that, and then I take this. Okay, that's fine. That's pretty useless. I think I do this now. And then I can lower his power by 3. Which would kill that and give me that. Ooh, do I get the spot? I might get the spot. I'm gonna try it. I do get the spot. Oh! Wait, that's actually huge. He can only replace now. And he takes that, which is fine, because I can just take it right back. Ooh, that son of a bitch. Okay, I need something that goes up, which is only this guy. He's gonna take that spot. Yep. Oh, and he destroys that. Okay, I've got a couple replacement cards. So I need to replace you. I don't think I'm gonna get that top spot. Tetsuya Nomura, you are one busy man directing FF7 and Kingdom Hearts 4. I think he's put a stop on Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm gonna be honest. I think he's full focused on the trilogy, and then he's gonna move back over to Kingdom Hearts 4. I know how I would reference Kingdom Hearts without showing Sora or the Keyblade. In part 3, there's a random door that the party can open. Cloud is like won't budge, unless if you got a magical key that can open any door. Yeah, maybe. It could be something like a Kingdom Hearts style keyhole. He's like, there's a keyhole in this, but the key must be about sword sized. The key's massive. It must be the size of a blade. I could replace my with my. Okay. Well, too bad this is our Final Fantasy. Yeah. Okay, I need something that goes up, and I have just the thing. Boom. Please tell me you've run out of cards. Oh my god. That's fine. Because I can go up. Yes! Okay, now I can just take that over with this. And then I can replace it with that. And you might have a card to put there, but it's a 1-pawn. Exactly. Boom. An enemy card destroyed raises card's power by 2. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation going on right now, so it's pretty exciting to see what they do. I just know that they made some incredible games, so the expectation is at an all-time high. Begin the match surrounded by your enemy. Endure your opponent's relentless onslaught by shoring up your defenses on both sides, thus hopefully buying you enough time to clear path to victory. Oh. Oh, I see. Aha. Interesting. This is what they meant by that. Oh, I just got an idea. Tifa, hey Cloud, there's a street artist that wants you to draw you in his style. It's the version of Cloud in Kingdom Hearts 1. That would be cool. That would be very cool. Wait, it's going to destroy, lower the power of allied and enemy cards by 3. Oh, I'm cool with that. Yeah, they're usually pretty subtle about it, so I think they'll just do like a little thing for it. Why do I have a wing? I think it looks cute. This is interesting. I don't have a way to use that guy. I can use this guy. I do want to put something down here. I can put this guy. that's interesting. Let me replace this. Okay, well, he tried. He definitely tried. Okay, I'm winning the top for sure. When enfeebled, lower the power of... Oh, he's gonna kill that. Well, if he's gonna kill that, I should replace it with this. Okay. So he's gonna win the bottom, I think. Oh, a replacement. Oh, yes. Oh my god, he took it back. 17. I need a couple more destruction. I don't think I can do anything here, though. This is gonna put stuff on the top. We're gonna tie. My name is Rex, because X is a big letter. Well, Rex is the name of the fictional character in the video game in the Toy Story world. So in Kingdom Hearts 3, when you go into the Toy Story world, you also enter into the video game, which is Rex KH3. Verum Rex. So in the Toy Story world, and it's interesting because Verum Rex is a video game which is actually where you see Sora in Kingdom Hearts 4. You see him in the world of Verum Rex, not as a video game in the Toy Story world, but as an actual world. Because they go to the realm of he's going to like the realm of imagination, basically. So now realms that you can think up of are real. But what's interesting is Verum Rex is actually Nomura's original vision for Final Fantasy 15. Or it was Versus 13 that turned into 15. So the cutscene in Verum Rex, or the original cutscene for Versus 13, has the main character of Verum Rex, and they do the exact same basically cutscene things that happen in 15. So Verum Rex is Nomura's plan to basically get his vision of 15 into like some kind of canon, and it just so happens to be he just so happens to be doing it in the Kingdom Hearts series. Okay, I can't do anything anymore. I think we just tie. No, I lose. Oh my god. Send another link? Sure. So this is the Versus 13. Yeah, this is kind of what I was referring to. I think I've heard of this before. But yeah, basically his Versus 13 game got canceled and the remnants of that got turned into 15. Verum Rex means true king. The theme of kings and princes play a big role in Versus 13 and Final Fantasy 15. Sora means sky. Yozura means night sky in Japanese. Noctis means night in Latin. Yeah, so I think the original name of the main character in Versus 13 was Yozura. In the old Versus 13, Noctis's girlfriend was Stella. Yozura's girlfriend became a nameless star. In KH3, Stella in Latin means star. Yep. Yeah, it's like a bunch of references to his original work that he finally gets to like realize. In the Toy Story cutscene, Yozura's friends, Aegis and Magia, similar to Prompto and Ignis, who are from Versus 13, or Aegis. Aegis means shield, Magia means magic, yep. Yeah, I think those were like original characters designs kind of thing. Yep, and then there's the car cutscene that's like literally ripped from Versus 13, and they use it for the one of the 15 cutscenes. The Remind DLC car scene after you beat Yozura is exactly like the car scene with Noctis in the Versus 13 trailer. Yeah. Yep, this is kind of the theory that I was referencing. It's super cool. And there's a lot of like credence to it, essentially. The item you receive for beating Yozura is called the Crystal Regalia. The Regalia is the car. In the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret ending at the 1 minute 30-second mark, it plays the same music as Final Fantasy Versus 13 song called Somnus. Yozura's limo driver is Luxord. Yep, the original voice actor for one of the Organization 13 members. The wild card Luxord gives to Sora is possibly a card that summons Yozura to Sora's dimension. That's why Luxord says it could turn the tables, because as his driver, he would know what Yozura is capable of. Possible. But I think Sora is going to Yozura's dimension, which is the Barris Rex world, basically. Also, you saw Yozura sleeping in the car, right? He used the same ability Sora used to travel through dreams in Dream Drop Distance. That's why Luxord said, impressive, is it not? Because he's bringing technology and magic from Sora's universe to Yozura's universe. Okay. See, some stuff leads credence, and then some stuff is like, okay, this is just a theory. Like all of the naming conventions, the cutscene usage, the character designs, that's all like, yeah, this is pretty on the nose. Some of the other stuff is kind of like speculation, I would say, but it's still fun to speculate. At the end of several Kingdom Hearts games in the Xehanort Saga, it says Kingdom Hearts Reconnect. The new saying is now an oath to return, to signify Sora's awaited return back home in future games. Okay, I didn't know they changed it, but I guess it makes sense, because originally you want to connect Kingdom Hearts, and now that the Xehanort Saga is done, Kingdom Hearts was like activated, and then Xehanort was officially defeated. Now he's off in some other realm or dimension or whatever, so now he's trying to get home again. Or maybe he's not trying to find his friends, because all his friends are back on Destiny Island, so now it's Sora's journey to try to return home from wherever he went. So that makes sense. Let me explain. In the Xehanort Saga, it said Kingdom Hearts Reconnect because Sora had to connect everyone back together. Yes. Roxas and Xion back together, Terra and Ven back together. Now, in Oath to Return, will get to be everyone back home. Yeah, so at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, everyone's back on Destiny Islands. They're all having it up, but Sora kind of disappears, which is him basically dying / going to the imaginary realm, or the realm of imagination. Yozura's girlfriend is clearly dead for some reason, since we see her in the final world. Yeah, she's one of the like spirits or whatever when Sora like dies, basically, because Sora does. It's like the second time Yeah, it's like the second time Sora's died. Because he died in the original Kingdom Hearts. Well, his heart got unlocked by Riku's Keyblade. So he dies, becomes a Heartless and a nobody, and stuff happens. But in Kingdom Hearts 3, he actually dies and goes to basically heaven or purgatory. But yeah, in there we see that one of the spirits that you talk with is Yozura's girlfriend, which is really cool. Fun facts about 13. Every coincidence / words that have 13 letters each. Okay, so this is all the references to, like, you know, Organization 13 and Sora, Riku, Kairi, Roxas, Axel, Xion, Wayfinder Trio, Kingdom Hearts, Tetsuro Nomura, 713, Dearly Beloved, Yoko Shimomura, composer for Cage Music, Hollow Bastion, Radiant Guardian, Destiny Island, End of the World, Mark of Mastery, and some supports, Light Darkness, Terra Xehanort, Ventus Vanitas, Lingering Will, and Young Xehanort. And just for fun, 13 numbers, letters are in Final Fantasy VII. Double Use Cure, Hydra's back. I mean, I think that's just kind of, that's more coincidental than anything. Or like, even if it's not coincidental, I don't think that's necessarily, you know, it's more of a fun thing rather than it means anything. Other number 13 related facts, excluding 358 over 2 days, if you add the numbers in all the KH titles, okay, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.8 plus 0.2 equals 13. Okay, there are 13 floors in Castle Oblivion and Chain of Memories. There are 13 weird symbols around the black box. In the cinematic intro to KH1, the letter M is zoomed in. M is the 13th letter of the alphabet. Yeah, I mean, this is just reinforcing, like, the Organization 13, and, like, I think that's more of just, like, a bunch of little hints that are reinforcing the Organization 13 and how they're the antagonists of everything, and that ends up being 13 Xehanorts in different forms. In my opinion, that could turn out to be something, but that seems more of just like a fun thing. The KH1 cover art foreshadows the artificial Kingdom Hearts we see in KH2 and the Dark City that is below the world that never was. Yeah, so they might have planned the series. That's possible. Or like maybe thought that they were gonna have something for like a city style for Kingdom Hearts 1, but scrapped it because they added it to Kingdom Hearts 2. That could have been a development thing. The thing about it is there's a lot of, so when it comes to writing, it's far less that, you know, they knew the whole time, right? It's far less of, you know, oh, he planned the ending from the beginning type deal, and more so they just like input a lot of threads, or at least in my opinion, the way that normally they do it is like they have a story, they have all these like references, they don't use all the references, but there are threads that they can then pull and turn that into something that would make it seem like, oh, they knew the whole time, when really they're just kind of like, hey, here's a thread, what can we do with this? And then they add on to that thread and then turn it, you know, hey, we can reference this thing back here because we didn't really do anything, we didn't know where we were going with it, but we can pull this thread, have it go somewhere, and then we can reference back to it, something that happened previously, and then expand on that. And then next time we can take this thread and we can pull on this thread. Well, that's how they do it in Final Fantasy 14 anyway. Nomura is a different beast. He does things a little differently. So maybe he knew the whole time, but I'm not sure. Nomura is just his head is just he's just a different kind of animal. The KH2 cover art foreshadows the cloudy blue skies and pillars that we see in the final world. So they're saying like, hey, we're gonna do cover art, but the thing that's on the cover art is actually for the next game in the series. The KH3 cover art foreshadows that we will be playing in Quadratum, where Yozora lives in. I mean, it certainly looks like that. And it's possible they just make cover art of... See, this is one of those things where they could just make cover art for a bunch of stuff, of like locations, and then they pick one that's like, oh, this is cool, what can we do with this? And then as the development continues on, they go, okay, this is going to be something that we'll use in the next game, but we're going to keep this cover art because it's cool. But again, Nomura, he could have planned it all along. Melody of Memory Evidence Versus 13 was a game made by Square Enix. The city Yozora lives in is called Quadratum. Quadratum in Latin means square. Okay. Anson the Wise says Yozora's world is the other side. He calls it unreality or fiction. Another word for fiction is fantasy. The theme for Versus 13 was a fantasy based on reality. Yeah. Yeah. Unreality or fiction. Yeah. So basically it's like a world of imagination, but it's like a world of fiction where they can create new things. This Reddit post is awesome. Yeah, I don't know if I saw this post somewhere, but I've definitely heard of this theory before. And while I don't necessarily agree with all the extra stuff, I do think that, yeah, he is definitely trying to like input the characters that he had from a previous title in some way, because I think he really wanted that project to take off, and just development hell kind of sunk it, which was par for the course at the time, because when they were doing 13 was development hell. He was trying to do Versus 13 at the same time. That got canceled because Square was like bankrupt at this point. This is when, yeah, it was like 13, 14 came out, and that was a disaster for 1.0 at least. 15 was also a disaster. So this was like at a time period where Square Enix was not doing hot whatsoever. And then they eventually came out of it because of other people, right? Like Yoshi P absolutely like helped turn that company around. And I think Nomura is super happy because now he has the ability to take the remnants of that canceled project and insert that into a new IP that is successful. In order to, like, I won't even say tell the story that he wanted to tell, because he has to put it in the Kingdom Hearts world, but at the same time Kingdom Hearts is also his IP, so he can kind of mess around and play with it as he wants. It's really cool, all the Versus 13 references. Whoever made this post put some awesome FF15 callbacks. I don't think that's coincidence. I think that's a lot of the 15 versus 13 comparisons are like just true, because Nomura was working on both of those. He was working on 13 versus, and then because of the development hell, they had to take like a lot of the stuff from the failed Versus 13 and put it into 15. And now Nomura, because Square Enix is doing well again, he can go back and take the original Versus 13 concept stuff that he had worked on and then created anew. Like, he could do something like Kingdom Hearts 4 could just be a Final Fantasy game. Because as I said, they're kind of resetting the series of Kingdom Hearts. So they could completely change up how that works. Like, instead of what Kingdom Hearts would normally be, which is at least the main numbered series, where you are basically hopping around from world to world and you just get like a little piece of each world, and then you gotta travel there twice. Instead of that, they could just do something where it is just Nomura making Final Fantasy Versus 13, and as Sora, as your protagonist, you are just playing through that like one world, and then Nomura just makes Final Fantasy Versus 13. And you just do that whole thing, and then at the end of that you just go somewhere else. And then Kingdom Hearts 5 will be your go to another world or something. Like, I think that could potentially be what he does. Which would be hilarious. Because then this would just become Final Fantasy 17. But they just call it Kingdom Hearts 4. And it's a way to like reduce the numbers of like how many like numbered Final Fantasies they have. Is they just make Final Fantasies in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that this was... Yeah, I definitely had seen this, and a lot of the stuff, like, there's too many references to ignore. That this is kind of what they're going with. Now, I know Nomura is working on Final Fantasy VII, the trilogy, so he wants to basically finish that up. Because they showed a little bit of gameplay, like, of Kingdom Hearts 4, like, years ago. It was like 4 minutes of gameplay. I think you've probably seen this, but... But they showed this off. This was back in... This was 3 years ago. So 3 years ago would have been mid-development of... Wait, when did Rebirth come out? Hold on. $2025. Okay, so Rebirth came out in January of 25. So 3 years ago would have been, yeah, 3 years ago would have been mid-development of Rebirth. Development footage. Yeah, I think that they made a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 4, and then they've shifted all of their production over to, like, I think they have like a small team that's working on Kingdom Hearts 4, but their main focus right now is finishing off the Final Fantasy VII trilogy. And then once the final part of Final Fantasy VII is done, they're going to take all of those developers and programmers, and they're going to move them back over to Kingdom Hearts 4. I think that's what they're going to do, because Square Enix developers, they can kind of like move around and do what they want. And I think a lot of people wanted to do the Final Fantasy VII stuff over the Kingdom Hearts stuff, so I think a lot of them moved over to that. And then that's been like 10 years in the making. Because Rebirth came out. When did Remake came out in 2020. So they would have started development on that like 3 or 4 years earlier than that, which would have been like 2016, 2017. So, and that was, Remake was the one where they really had to like crunch a lot of development into, because they had to redo everything. Now that they have the assets, all the other games, subsequent games, are a lot easier to make, because they have a lot of the stuff. The combat's already done. They have the characters, models. They have the locations, and the environmental artists can kind of do their own thing. But a lot of their stuff is kind of like, hey, we're done. Now we're going to expand on that in the next games and make it. They said they wanted to make them completely different games, but in reality, they're kind of just enhancing everything, which is why there's so much content in Rebirth, because Remake was mainly, hey, we're going to tell this story, we're going to expand on it and make a great game. But this really is just seeing if we can do it and like expanding the universe and telling our story. But now that all the development for that stuff is done, all the rest of the games can come out much quicker. Once that's done, though, because it's been like 10 years of working on these games of this trilogy. Now that that's done, though, they're all going to focus on their other stuff. So now development's going to really pick up with Kingdom Hearts 4 and the other stuff. Have you seen the KH4 screenshots? The apology we got after Missing Link got canceled. What is... I don't know what Missing Link is. What is Missing Link? Okay, new images. Yeah, this is just... what, extra stuff from the trailer? Some stuff from the trailer, but like some extra images. Yep, I see. There's one you're playing as Mickey. That's cool. Yep, you're in the city. When was this? This was a year ago. We're currently working hard on Kingdom Hearts 4 and we'll continue pouring ourselves into the game's development. We've dedicated to making this an experience that lives up to your expectations. You've seen how excited you are, and we are truly grateful from the bottom of our hearts. We are equally excited and can't wait to share more about Kingdom Hearts 4 when the time is right. Until then, appreciate your patience. Oh, so there's screenshots after we got the mobile game got canceled. Oh, so this is their like, hey, we were gonna do this thing, but sorry, here's some screenshots, and it looks like, yeah, early development stuff. Well, maybe not early development, but like they're, I don't know how far along they are. But yeah, I definitely think it's like a smaller team, but they already kind of have an idea of what they're doing. And maybe they have like the areas and stuff done, but I don't know about the cutscenes, but look at the Neo Shadows. Yeah, everything's like, because they have to like age up. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 came out wait, was it really 2019? Damn, that came out in 2019? Wait, so that means that... oh, these screenshots were a year ago. Okay. So they've been working on it since... what, for about... I mean, if they started right after... I mean, 7 years? It's been a while. Yeah, I mean, I know that they're... well, because they got so much stuff coming out, they don't, there's no rush to get it out. But if they had that stuff, like if they had this came out in 3 years ago, so 2023. They've already been working on it for like 3 or 4 years since this came out. They didn't start right after 3 because they had to work on the Remind DLC for 3, which released in 2020. Okay, so they've been working. So this trailer. So this trailer is about what, 3 years of development then? Like 3.5 years of development. So that means that, yeah, they've been working on it for like 6.5 years. which is a long time for a game. Which means they might have thought that this was going to release on PS4. Potentially. Maybe? No, surely they made it only for PS5. This looks really good. I'm somewhat, I don't know. Go back to the river shot. Let's say the heart resides within the soul, which in turn is guided by fate to its rightful place. Look for the ATST foot. This trailer was for the 20th anniversary of KH1, which was 2022. Oh, I see. You're saying this, right? You're saying this thing is an ATST? I mean... It's... It could be a rock. I'm gonna be honest. It could just be a rock. I'm not gonna lie. Like, don't get me wrong. Because Disney owns so many IPs, there is almost like 1,000,000% chance that we would go to a Star Wars level. Like, that sounds awesome. Because now we're going to go to, like, not just like Disney princess stuff. We can actually go to other worlds that are Disney IPs and do stuff there. And this would not be out of the realm of possibility that this is, oh, the jungle planet. Oh my god. It's not Tatooine. I can't remember. Kashyyyk? Is it Kashyyyk? Like, that 100% would make sense. I'm just looking at it, and like this right here, this looks like a rock, right? Oh, you know what? Actually, it looks a lot... Endor, yeah, sorry, Endor. You know what? When I full screened it, it popped into view more. And now that it popped into view more, I can see it. When it wasn't, like, if you don't... Well, now it looks... Now I just see it. Okay, you know what? It was a good picture. They're all like toys and stuff. ATST cage. What? Okay, yeah, I see the comparisons now. Yeah, they're saying that this part is this part. Yeah, I can see it now. Which... that makes a lot of sense. And these trees look exactly like the trees from Endor. Which I wouldn't be surprised. Now, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's super cool. And then Return of the Jedi and Endor, the ATST attack the Ewoks. Yes. So this would be like you going into the world during that fight, during that invasion. And so you would see like the end of Star Wars, basically, of Return of the Jedi. And since we're going into a place of unreality or fiction, as it were, it's basically an excuse to, because like the reality that they come from is all of the worlds that are like Disney princesses, basically. So unreality is now they can just jump to new IPs. A lightsaber keyblade? Oh, they're gonna have one. 100%. Like 100% they're gonna have one. And he's gonna meet up with like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and everything. Maybe him, Donald, and Goofy will have to like disguise themselves in stormtrooper armor. And it's not gonna fit perfectly on Donald and Goofy. Or maybe Donald and Goofy just won't make an appearance. Maybe it'll just be Sora this entire game. Still don't know who this is. Exactly. The gummy ship gets a reference. You get a Star Wars skin. I don't know. Because Chip and Dale won't be in this universe. Maybe you'll just fly other ships. Maybe you will just fly like an X-Wing around. Like during the Star Wars thing. Because if he's in Unreality, because Chip and Dale aren't in this universe, it's no longer like a cartoony, like old Disney IP style world. Now it's like more realistic. Like you have humans, like a lot of humans, and you've been asleep since you arrived in this world 7 days ago. Yeah, so this is the beginning. You arrive in Verum Rex, the Verum Rex world. This is Quadratum. Yeah, so this is like real life Tokyo, basically. Or like Shibuya, or wherever literally the square office is. I think they even said that they modeled this after Japan. But it's called Quadratum, like square. Like this is the square universe. So this is literally like reality. Even though it's called Unreality, it's fiction, but they definitely modeled a lot of these streets and a lot of these buildings after real life buildings and streets in Japan. Strelzia's hair, she has an X and an I, which is 11 in Roman numerals. That's Marluxia's number. Yes. It could just be a hair clip, but I can see what you mean. It's got the, well, it could be the other way too, right? It could be an IX, it could be 9. Go back more. See, the thing is, it's top down. So it could be XI, but it also could be IX. Unless it's already been confirmed that it's Marluxia's sister. Who is IX? Organization 13. IX. Member. Demix? Okay, it's not Demix. Or it's 100% not Demix. I could see it being more likely being Marluxia. It's confirmed in Union Cross? Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Freaking Union Cross. I need to look through a whole thing for Union Cross. I think I looked at a fan. I think I looked at a. What was it called? I looked through a whole thing for Kingdom Hearts for Union Cross, but like it was a 8-hour or whatever. All of the what's it called? Something class university PC, is it PCP University KH? Yeah, and it's Kingdom Hearts 102. It's like a 4-hour, like some guy gets up in front of some people and explains Kingdom Hearts, and he talked about Union Cross a little bit, but am I speculating straight up confirmed? Yeah, if it's confirmed in the mobile game, it's just that I don't know. It's just that it was a mobile game, and the game itself, I don't know how good it was, but they discontinued it, so I'm not even going to get anything out of that. And it's like set in the past, but you have all of the Organization 13 members, but this is back when they were their actual person, now they're nobodies. But then that means that the Organization 13 members are in Unreality, so how does that all play into everything? Watch the lore cutscenes on YouTube? Yeah, I'm sure. That's a lot of cutscenes to get through because it was on for years. Yeah, so this is all like real life Japanese streets. But for you and I, it's similar to an afterworld, I suppose. Wait, what's it say? This is Quadratum. I'm not saying Organization 13 is in Quadratum. No. Yeah, I don't think that they're there either. Just saying it's a reference to her brother. But like why? You know? Like how did she get to Quadratum? Right? If she was in quote-unquote reality, but now she's in unreality, how did she get to unreality? You know what I mean? That's what my question is. Because clearly Sora went from reality to unreality, but like, are we gonna have other characters that can somehow traverse from reality to unreality now? Like, if that's the case, then they can just bring back Chip and Dale for the Gummy Ship. They can bring back Donald and Goofy. Mickey's obviously in this game, so he somehow figures out. So, you know, what is the pathway or portal to get to unreality? It's all explained in Union Cross. Oh my god. I don't want to watch cutscenes of Union Cross. Maybe I'll see if it's mentioned in the class or whatever, but because he does talk about Nomura being a crazy genius, but also like what the hell. But I'll have to go. I'm being dead ass. I'll have to go back and watch it then. For you and I, it's similar to an afterworld, I suppose. Cutscenes are actually enjoyable. I just want someone to explain it to me so I can catch up on it. Because like I played Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, 2, and then I did the 1.5, 2.5 remix. I did watch the 368 over 2 movie. I played the Aqua game. And then I played... Oh my god, I forget what it's called, but like the prequel game where you play as Ventus, Terra, and Aqua in like the prequel before Kingdom Hearts. I did not play Dream Drop Distance. Obviously Union Cross. You can't just watch Unicross. You would also need to watch all the Dark Road cutscenes to understand the story fully. What is Dark Roads? This is the only thing I don't like about splitting up your story into different media, is that it's very difficult to understand it all because there's so many different places you have to go and look to get every little bit. Which is kind of why 15 was kind of a flop, is because they had the movie and then they had the game and then they had the anime like stories, and you had to watch all of it to get the full story, when really I just wanted to watch the cutscenes in the game and get the full story. Dark Road is a 2020 role-playing video game. Oh, it's another phone game. Okay. It's a prequel that explores the origins of Xehanort. The game launched in 2020 as a standalone game accessed through the Union X mobile app, which was rebranded as Kingdom Hearts Union X Dark Road. And then a year later, it shut down. Oh, and transitioning to an offline app. Okay. Dark Road was made unplayable during this transition period until 2022, when its final update was released. It was delisted from all storefronts in 2024. Damn. FF7 is doing the exact same thing with Ever Crisis. I heard about Ever Crisis. The thing is, I don't know if it's that important. It's a gacha game that both retells stories from the Final Fantasy VII completion and original stories like Sephiroth's backstory, and some seasonal non-canon adventures. It's more or less optional and not exactly a must-play, but if you want to see the original story stuff, there's clips of it online. It's an abridged retelling of FF7, Crisis Core, and a new story based on Sephiroth's past. There's a hack to get all the best weapon and gear and materia so you can complete the story mode. It's probably going to tie into part 3. It's theorized that there is a good version of Sephiroth in the multiverse that is actually trying to be a hero. Okay. It's a gacha game, mobile gacha game. How much of 7's plot story from the OG is in this? Past Wutai. Okay. Ever Crisis covers how Sephiroth obtains the Masamune and how young Angeal was. Also shows secrets that Hojo is hiding. Yes and no. I don't think that even if they I think, and I could be wrong about this, but a lot of it feels like it's more flavor than important. because even without playing this game, I already had the sense that there was like some sort of good Sephiroth in the multiverse that was going to possibly potentially be playable in the third act, and I didn't need a mobile gacha game to kind of lead me to that direction, and I could see them doing it. I don't think the first soldier, like, is it cool that you get some flavor about Sephiroth's past and stuff? Sure. You kind of already get a little bit of it in Crisis Core, which I liked, which is kind of just the prequel to 7. And you kind of learn like how he was a hero and he was good, but what actually turned him bad, which you kind of see in the Nibelheim flashback, where he's like, you know, beloved by everybody, and then he finally reads about, you know, his mother and discovers his past, and then kind of goes crazy off of that. It's all just optional stuff that adds to the story. You really don't need the console games to appreciate the story. Yeah, I think that's okay, right? If you give some flavor stuff in other media, that's like totally fine, right? I don't mind that. The problem is when there is incredibly important details that would not otherwise be told in the main game that you then have to access the optional side stuff to get. Now, if they just retell that story in the main game to explain it, so you wouldn't have to go to the other media, but if you did buy and like play through that other media or watch it if it's like a movie, and so you understand when they explain it, you're like, oh, I understand this. I already knew this because I played such and such. That's a cool thing. So it still catches everybody up on what's going on, but also you feel kind of vindicated because you already knew about it if you played the other stuff. I'm okay with that too, but if it's where there's important story stuff that is canon that you can only get from playing the other media, and then it's never brought up in the main story and stuff's happening and you're confused by it, that's what I don't like. That's the one instance of that I don't like. So if there's stuff in, for example, Kingdom Hearts 3 that requires you to play Dark Road, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, and it's like not explained and it just happened, and you're like, how the heck did this happen? And it's like, well, if you had played this other discontinued mobile game, you would know, then it would make sense, but because you didn't, you're left in the dark. I don't like that. 15 did the same thing. Yes, 15 was another one where I did play through 15, but, and it was fine-ish on its own, but it felt like it was missing a lot, and a lot of the, like, I didn't really care about the characters all that much, and they supposedly added stuff in, yeah, the short anime, and the Kingsglaive movie, yep, and their mobile game, and the problem was, like, that was supposed to be important stuff, and in Kingsglaive especially it was, because it showed kind of the whole beginning of, like, basically the beginning of the game, all the political stuff that was, like, really cool and intriguing, and in the game they just skip all that, and it's just like, you're just out in the wild and then shit just happens, and you're like, what's going on? I have no idea what's going on. That's why the Royal Edition of 15 is way better than the base version. I think I've heard that before, and people say that the Royal Edition's actually really good. But yeah, playing that base version just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and I was like, eh. And like I said, they made it better, and people actually do enjoy 15, but yeah, that first impression was just not good. It was just not good. And I don't like the way, like, eventually they made a good game, and, you know, kudos to them and everything, but the way they went about trying to do all the stuff they did, it's kind of like when 13, FF13 was trying to do the whole, like, Lightning is going to be a digital actor that they, like, license out to other people to, I forgot who had this idea, but someone at Square had this idea that when they made Final Fantasy 13, that Lightning was literally going to be like a digital actor that they would then sell the rights to other companies for them to use Lightning as like and like an advertisement, kind of like marketing, where like it would be Lightning using their products as like an actor, but it was a digital actor, which is obviously basically bankrupted the company. Yeah, they changed everything because I mean they did the same thing with 14. Like this whole time period for Square was just an absolute disaster. Mainly because of Final Fantasy 13. Like it started there. Like in 13, they were gonna do like a movie, or like The Spirits Within was a huge flop because they were trying to expand out from games to like other media for some reason. And basically 13, or the Advent Children, no, the Spirits Within, sorry, movie was a total flop. Then 13 comes out and it's successful but not well received. And then the guy's like, yeah, we're gonna take Lightning and we're gonna advertise, we're gonna sell her as a digital actor. That flopped. And then 14 1.0, that flopped. For 14, they got a huge redemption arc. I mean, literally 14 is the highest grossing Final Fantasy ever. Like of all time. It's the most successful and the highest grossing Final Fantasy that Square has ever had. Like it is their cash cow right now. Like they are literally living on, like they can fund, I don't even like necessarily say this slightly, they can actually fund their other projects because when 14 2.0 came out, when Realm Reborn came out, it was so successful, and the subsequent expansions after that, that they got out of what essentially was bankruptcy, and they can now fund all of these other projects that they're doing, which includes, you know, the 7 trilogy and all this other stuff. Like that's how big of a redemption arc it is. And then obviously Yoshi P goes off to make Final Fantasy 16, which is, I mean, he's literally like, we gotta just change it up to do something crazy. And so they change it to like an action pseudo adventure, but it's mainly just like an action game with like missions, kind of like Devil May Cry, which was received well. It was definitely a change of pace, and there were some flaws for sure, but like he's like, this is kind of what we need to do. We don't need to do all these insanely crazy things. We can do that within the media that we're good at, which is making games. So it's about expanding our game development and our ideas within video games rather than trying to make movies and trying to do this and trying to do that. And also had a damn good story. It's unironically probably the best Final Fantasy story at this point. 16's music was crazy good. Oh yeah, 16 was an incredibly well-made game. Like the combat was super fun because they brought in the guy that did Devil May Cry to do the combat. Voice actors were fantastic because they did the lines in English first, so that the voice actors, because the ones they brought in were English voice actors, wrote the script basically in English, translated it to Japanese, and then got the Japanese voice actors to come in to like redo it like they did it the inverse of how they normally do it. Yeah, the song where Clive fights Typhon is fucking epic. Yeah, no, there's tons of bangers. The political stuff is great. Like it's really good. It kind of, in my opinion, it kind of falls off when it just becomes another like, hey, we're gonna fight God again. It's kind of like, okay, well, but the political stuff was awesome, which is most of the game, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, that was a good game, but it was kind of like like, hey, Yoshi P, you're gonna make a, because he was on Dragon Quest and then went to 14 and then he did that. Bahamut does Zeta Flare in 16, and the only other time is in KH3. Yeah, which is the whole meme about Donald being the most powerful wizard or the most powerful mage in Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts, is because he can use that move. Yeah, which is awesome, which is just cool, I guess. Not I guess, it is cool. See, I think this is on the PS4. I think they took so long that they gotta make it for PS5 only. Yeah, the dark side looks great. He looks like a kaiju, which makes sense because they're in Japan, so, you know, kaiju's in Japan. I suspect this is going to change, almost assuredly. This seems scripted. It would be cool if it's not, but this whole, like, you're running up and then I think this is scripted for the trailer, but I think that's what they want you to be able to do because you were able to do some of this stuff in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like reaction commands, basically. Now that seems real. Reaction commands. The drill that pierces the heavens! I would assume this is like a tutorial fight. I gotta say that every time there's a giant, massive drill on screen. If you do not leave this world behind, don't expect to return to the one from which you came. Okay, so basically don't get stuck in this world, yeah. Sora versus the Anti-Spiral. Honestly, that's a great place to take it. Go to like a universe-ending thing that's going to destroy a world that's not Kingdom Hearts. That sounds pretty cool. Okay, so, I mean, you got Org 13 hoods, but obviously these hoods are sold at every, you know, mom and pop shop in every world imaginable, so everyone's got one of these, so we have no idea who this could be. Although, the voice actor might give it away, but I don't know the Japanese voice actor, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm like an hour past when I was supposed to stop stream anyway. Because I only stream for 2 hours on the weekdays, but it was nice having a conversation with the Ocean. Appreciate it. I'm on the weekdays, 1 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. And then Saturdays I'm streaming all day, and then Sundays I stream for about 7 hours or so. So if you want to come back and hang out and chill and talk some stuff, I'm down for it. Tomorrow I won't be streaming because I got to wake up early the next day, but every other day this week I'll be streaming. 1 month Summer Games Fest, yeah. I might do a stream watching that, so that'll be cool. But thanks for watching, Ocean. Take care, take care. Well, so much for finishing Queen's Blood. Well, I got basically nowhere. But it was fun nonetheless. I don't mind yapping for a stream. That's all good. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. And good conversation. Getting us excited about the next installation of Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts. So, always cool with that. Thanks for joining me as always, David. And I will see you not tomorrow, but Wednesday. And we'll do some stuff, more mini games and side quests on Wednesday. So, peace.